I'm a priest now for 31 years, and it's nearly 43 years since I made my religious vows. And as I look back at my ministry and the spiritual journey, this pilgrimage with people, many of them stand out. But the one that comes to my mind this morning, as I proclaim the gospel of the day, is the one with little children in a home for children. In those days, we used to call them orphanage. There were 116 children, most of them children of leprosy patients, and about 11 of them were physically handicapped. And I was solely in charge of them. I was 25 then. Every morning I would wake them up, get them to go and take care of their needs, and take them to the church, serve them breakfast, and off they would go to school, and I would go to my college to come back and receive them, and the rest of the day was spent with them. And one of the Salesians that was with me in the community pointed out to me something that I didn't notice until then. That during recreation, when I was with those children, at any given time, there would be 12 or 15 of them around me, all of them fighting for my fingers, vying with each other, because their parents, as they were patients of leprosy, did not have any fingers, and they would be holding on to me. And so there I was, by day and night, surrounded by children. I used to be called Brother William in those days. And so Brother William was for them by day, all day, doing everything with them and for them. But then, when I retired at night and went to bed, I would have nightmares. And in those nightmares, the parents of those children would come, and they would come very close to me and talk to me about their children. And wanting to get away from those patients with leprosy, I would turn around and in my dream try to run and run, and I would be running in the same spot. Very soon I would wake up puffing and panting, all sweating. And I would ask myself, now, which is the real me? The one with the children and for the children by day, and in philosophy they say, a subconscious tending or unconscious tending is always true. I was, in fact, running away from them. And that is where the gospel of the day paints for us a completely different image of Jesus. When the patient or the person with leprosy would come before Jesus and Jesus does something that many of you would miss. He stretches out his hand and touches him. And that touch is actually the healing for that person. Because that health condition ostracized them, isolated them, actually condemned them to live separately away from human habitation. And those of you that are familiar with the seriousness of this illness will know what I mean. And Jesus would stretch his hand and touch that man. Two things we could take home as lesson for the day. Healing happens when you reach out, stretch out your hand and touch the other. And if you are in need of healing, you need to be open and allow people to stretch out their hand and touch you. You know, today our community is in need of healing. Our nation is in need of healing. If only each of us would stretch our hand and touch one another, that healing may begin. People hurt in so many ways, and even if we cannot solve all their problem, we can at least make an attempt to stretch out our hand and touch them in the way we possibly can. And so, as we go through this healing, let's pray for this grace, that we may allow ourselves to be touched by the other and healed from what we suffer. May you and I have that generosity to stretch out our hand and touch the other.